You have learned enough hiragana to introduce yourself with a few bonus characters thrown in for cultural notes. In this lesson, you will learn hiragana that will allow you to greet people at different times of the day. There are 3 videos in this set, and you are watching the first one. After this set of notes, you will be able to read and write 7 new hiragana characters, and understand that hiragana characters can be combined to create palatal sounds. We are slowing down with the characters, but will give you more vocabulary in class. Here we have ko. It is 2 simple strokes. Stroke 1 goes across the top and ends in a hook. Stroke 2 is a bit longer on the bottom and comes to a complete stop. Let's try this together. Place your brush just left of center, about 1/3 of the way down, and go across and hook as you move to stroke 2. Stroke 2 curves down and levels off as it goes to the right. Ko. A picture that may help remember this character are 2 colorful carp. The Japanese word for these fish is koi. Koi. Do you see a different image that can help? Our next character is sa. Sa is 3 strokes. The first stroke is the horizontal stroke. Like the first couple of strokes in ki, it's important that this stroke slants slightly upward. The second stroke crosses the first stroke at a right angle and hooks as the brush moves to stroke 3. The third stroke is a longer version of the last stroke of ko. Sa is another one of those characters where fonts can get messy. Some fonts will connect strokes 2 and 3, like this one. When you write sa, please do not connect the strokes. Let's try it together. We begin slanting slightly upward. Stroke 2 crosses at a right angle and hooks as you move to stroke 3, which goes across the bottom. Sa. To remember this character, remember crying when you are sawed. The pronunciation doesn't quite work. You should try to think of an image where the pronunciation matches the character. Chi has 2 strokes. The first stroke is the stroke that slants slightly upward. It stops. That must mean the second stroke is what's left. It crosses stroke 1, then abruptly changes directions to the right, where it curves around. It ends as it tails back to the left. Let's try this one together. Stroke 1 is almost horizontal and it stops. Stroke 2 crosses stroke 1, curves quickly to the right, and curves around to a tail. Chi. How can we remember this character? Oh, I know. Think about having a cold and sneezing. Achoo! Achoo. Get it? Just remember to cover your mouth when you sneeze. Ra is 2 strokes. Stroke 1 is that little stroke across the top that ends in a hook. Notice the second stroke is similar to stroke 2 of chi. It goes down, then abruptly turns to the right and curves back around to the left where it tails. So let's try it together. Stroke 1 goes across and hooks. Stroke 2 goes down, quick change, curve around to a tail. Ra. To remember this one, think about petting a velvety rabbit. Have you noticed that the pronunciations are a bit off on these characters? Can you think of something better? So we've learned 4 hiragana characters. 3 of these characters can have their pronunciations altered by applying the dakuten. Let's see what happens when we add the dakuten to ko, sa, and chi. If we start with ko and add the dakuten, we get go. If we apply the dakuten to sa, we get za. And finally, if we add the dakuten to chi, we get ji. Some of you may notice that adding the dakuten to both shi and chi give you the sound ji. We'll talk more about that later. You've reached the end of the first video for today. You can take a break if you wish. Perhaps work on memorizing these characters and reviewing the 23 other characters that have been introduced. Please remember to watch the second and third videos before the end of the day, though.